It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
It is showtime. Yes, I am back and I'm live. This is not a recording. This is not an earlier episode. You're not binge watching. No, you're not. It's the real deal. What's happening, everybody? It's time for the Geno Jones Show. I guess you figured that out, right? You could see the big sign in the back. Yes, and I am Geno Jones. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. If you're in Chicago, maybe you're in Houston, Memphis, Tennessee, St. Louis, up in Minneapolis. Shout out to my people up in Milwaukee and all my people on the West Coast, West Side, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles, the city of angels, up in Seattle, Portland, Oregon, where my daughter Lauren, a.k.a. Boogie, my son-in-law Jonathan in Brooklyn, the Bulldog. Hopefully she's watching her dad, even though it's 6:33, 3 hours, so it's 3:33. She may probably be working. All right, everybody. Are you ready for the weekend? Yes, it's not Friday. I know, the calendar says Friday, but I say Friday, yay, it is Friday edition of the Geno Show. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Shout out to all of my new subscribers. I have to write a list down. There's so many. I can't name everybody right now, but I want to thank all my new subscribers. I want to thank all my old subscribers. I don't want you to think that I don't appreciate you. I'm not grateful, and I don't have love for you because I got love for each and every one of you. So tell everybody you know, all your friends, your family, your coworkers, your church members, your sorority and fraternity, sisters and brothers, your colleagues, neighbors, enemies, aliens, it don't matter. Strangers on the subway, if in Chicago we have the L, like L for elevated. In New York they got like elevated trains. They don't call them the L. So I don't care if you're on the subway or on the rapid transit line or whatever it is. Tell everybody, anybody, to subscribe to the Geno Jones channel right here on YouTube. Please share this and every episode and like every episode. And I would love to have you for all my entrepreneurs, all my small, big, small, medium-sized entrepreneurs like myself, business owners. If you would like to be a part of the Geno Jones Show and Network, if you would like to advertise, if you'd like to be a sponsor on the show, I would absolutely love to have you. And if you're looking for the ultimate pitch man, or now the term they use is brand ambassador, you know, like Jay-Z and Beyonce are brand ambassadors for Tiffany's. Yo, Tiffany's, holla at your boy. Because I'm the king. I'm not the king. No, I'm not the king. I'm the king of pitchmen. Just leave me a message right here on my YouTube channel. Email me, GenoJonesShow@gmail. All right, I'll give you that again. The end of the show, should remember. All right, my Friday co-host, Miss Keela Carson, is going to join me very shortly. So let's start off today. I want to do my birthday shout-outs. We had a big week. So let's see. So on Monday, the 3rd, November 3rd, shout out to Colin Kaepernick. Have you seen his Netflix? It's like I believe it's a series. I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot about it. I'm sure Keela's probably seen it. Knowing Key, Key is like my media expert and critic, especially when it comes to seeing the shows and know what's coming on. So she's probably already checked it out. She can give us a review, I bet. Colin Kaepernick turned 34. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick, man. Nothing but love and respect for you, brother, because you put it all on the line, and at the height, the physical peak of your career, you were because when this all happened, he was about 27, 34 now. He's about 27, maybe 28. So he was at his physical peak athletically, and he gave all that up, trying to fight for, basically just protesting unarmed black men and women being shot down and killed by just brutal, racist, rogue cops. And the NFL, they basically, I'm not going to use the term blackball because people want to associate something negative with black. He was whiteballed by the owners because it was white men that did it. So he was whiteballed by the owners in the NFL. So I hear it's a very provocative, especially I think like the first episode, a very provocative opening, making a comparison and analogy, comparing the NFL draft to like slave auctions. So, there's been some back and forth. Some people say, oh, you went too far. Some people say, well, there's some similarities. So anyway, I'll let you debate that. Happy birthday. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick, turned 34 on Monday. This R&B singer, very popular, beautiful young lady. She's actually from England, but she's got a couple hit records. Ella May, you've probably heard her music. Ella May, she turned 27 on Monday. And Tuesday, loving all my reality show, loving hip hop Atlanta fans, Stevie J. Actually, Stevie J is really, a lot of people don't know, he's really a talented producer. He used to work with Puffy back in the 90s. He produced some really big hit songs like Only You out of the Bad Boy Camp. 112 did that song, Only You, with the remix. More Money, More Problems. And he produced a lot of hits. Then he got on Love and Hip Hop, and then him and Jocelyn, and it just, man, it was, and then what's the other sister? I forgot her name. I think they got a child together. She did like a porn movie with her new dude, and then she got tired of him, and found a girlfriend, and so I don't know what the heck is going on. It's something about those reality shows. So anyway, Stevie J turned 50 on Tuesday, November 2nd. Cornell Hayes Jr. You know who that is? Nelly. Nelly turned 47 on Tuesday, and the most important and really the biggest birthday of the week is my daughter, Allie Jones, who turned 20. My God, y'all getting old. My baby turned 20. Y'all getting old. Notice I said, y'all getting old. I know Keith's gonna be like, huh? Y'all who? So I just, listen, she is just awesome. Allie, Daddy loves you more than life. You know that. I gave you a special birthday wish. You are my inspiration. You are the living embodiment of Daddy's. I could not have dreamed of having a daughter like you and Boogie, your sister. So happy birthday again, baby girl. Now, who celebrated a birthday yesterday? Sean P. Diddy, Puffy, B Love, Brother Love, Buddy Love, Duty, too many damn nicknames. I can't keep, not nicknames. I can't keep up with the name changes. He changes more names than Diana Ross used to change like outfits back in the day when she was in Central Park doing concerts. I can't keep up. But happy birthday to Mr. Combs, Mr. Bad Boy. Diddy turned 52. I gotta think about that. 52 yesterday. All right. So rest in peace to General Colin Powell, a good man, a great man. His funeral was today. President Barack Obama, he's always gonna be my president. First Lady Michelle Obama, she's always gonna be my first lady forever. He's like the forever president. She's the forever first lady for me. Our current president, Joe Biden, and the first lady, Jill Biden, was there. Former President George W. Bush and Laura Bush were there. It's just really cool to see, even though, they had different political ideologies, but to see all of them come together and act civil. No, he wasn't there. Because he knew his ass knew not to come. I'm sure his wife would have been like, nah, no, Orange Hitler's not on the list. He can't show up. Because he was throwing salt, saying ugly stuff and throwing salt on Colin Powell right after he died. So stay right where you are, partner. So just rest in peace. A great man, General Colin Powell, a great man, a great soldier, a great American, a great role model that Dick Cheney and the CIA threw under the bus. Dick Cheney's office. Dick Cheney was the vice president back in 2003. So Dick Cheney, his office, the vice president's office, and the CIA, knowing you all gave Colin Powell faulty intelligence, false information. Basically, you gave that man lies, and you knew they were lies, and you gave it to him because the only person on the planet that had credibility in that W. Bush administration was Colin Powell. Even the president didn't have the credibility that General Powell had. And that's why you all sent him to the United Nations in New York back in February of 2003, gave him them lies, and he was not happy about it. And he talked about it. Basically, that was one of the greatest mistakes he ever made. So y'all threw him under the bus because you knew he had the credibility. So I just wanted to set the record straight on that. So anyway, Scottie Pippen. So I changed gears here. Scottie Pippen, Hall of Famer, 6-time NBA champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, one of the 50th greatest players. Now they got like the 75 greatest players in NBA history. Well, of course, he's on that list. If he was on the 50th list, he's still on the list. One of the 75 greatest players ever. Of course, won 6 championships with Michael Jeffrey Jordan, Chicago Bulls. I know Keela's probably like, oh, because she's from Detroit. The big Piston fan. Detroit basketball. Shout out to my man John Mason. He and I used to work together. He is the announcer at the Piston games. He came up with that concept, and it just took off. As a matter of fact, he was the announcer at one of the All-Star games. So if you're ever watching a Pistons game and you hear Detroit basketball, that's my dog, Mr. John Mason. So shout out to John Mason. Man, just a great talent and an even better person. Shout out to my man, all right? So anyway, Scottie Pippen's got a brand new book called Unguarded. Woo! Tell us how you really feel, Scottie. So here's the bottom line. If I had to sum it up, here's my 30-second elevator pitch. Scottie is upset. So back last May, you had, 8 weeks? 8 weeks. The Last Dance was supposed to be a documentary about The Last Dance. It's called The Last Dance because basically something that Phil Jackson said back in 97, 98 season. That was the final season that the Chicago Bulls team with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson as the head coach were together. Because the general manager, really the owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, now Reinsdorf, his son, Michael Reinsdorf runs the team. But Jerry Reinsdorf, who gets the pass, who's the one that let the general manager, Jerry Krause, tell Phil Jackson, look, you can go 82-0, not lose a game, and your ass ain't coming back to coach. So Mike was like, what are we doing here? So if he ain't coming back, I ain't coming back. And Scottie like, I'm out because y'all still hadn't paid me. But anyway, so it was supposed to be about that season. But then we see The Last Dance. It looked like it was the Michael Jordan story. Listen, I enjoyed it. I loved it. I lived through a lot of it, being from Chicago, even though for the most part, most of that time, I was only working in Chicago, definitely, the first 3 years of their championship run. But, I was back and forth. I was commuting. But it was like the Michael Jordan story. But everything about Scottie was negative. They talked about, the last season, Scottie waited to have surgery. I don't know if it was on his knee or whatever. He had some kind of surgery that kind of delayed when he came back. And then he fell out with Phil Jackson. This is when Michael retired to play baseball, right after his father passed away. And Scottie, it was a game, and Phil Jackson called a play, last-second play. Scottie didn't get the ball. They gave it to this other kid that they had just picked up from Europe, Croatia, Tony Kukoc. Scottie was pissed, and he pouted, and he sat down on the bench. He's like, I ain't going in. If I ain't taking it, I'm the best player on the team, damn it. If I ain't taking the shot, I ain't going in. That wasn't cool. But it was like all this negative stuff, about Scottie Pippen. And then, early in the show, they talked about when Michael was young, when he was a rookie, all the other players, a lot of the dudes on the team were getting high and running women in and out of the, hotels, damn near having orgies, and Mike didn't want no parts of that. But it was like, wait a minute. This is not about all that. This is supposed to be about the 1997-98 season, the last dance of the Chicago Bulls. So Scottie was not happy. He felt that he was really thrown under the bus. He said that Michael Jordan was very could not have been more condescending if he had tried. So you got to check out the book, And I listen. There have been some people on TV. Shout out to my man Stephen A. Smith. He does a great job. But look, and I know Stephen A. and Jordan are tight. They're boys. I get it. He defended him. He went hard in the paint. He said because Michael Jordan deserves to be defended. I don't think Michael Jordan got to be defended at all. And now supposedly Michael's upset and him and Scottie are done and Michael ain't going to talk to him because apparently Scottie never said, he never basically offered his condolences to Mike after his father died. And then Scottie kind of owned up to it recently, said, you know what, that's something I regret that I never told Michael, hey man, that I'm sorry for your loss. So, and I could imagine how Michael would be feeling some kind of way. But look, the truth is, and I'm from the Chi, I loved Jordan and Pippen. And as a matter of fact, I stopped rooting for the Bulls because they broke the team up. But look, and Michael was a bully, but Michael knew who he could pick on. Michael punched Steve Kerr, who's the coach of the Golden State Warriors, who was his teammate. He swung and I think he punched another dude, Bill Winnington, but he knew who not to run up on. He didn't run up on Bill Cartwright. When Charles Oakley was his teammate, he wasn't punching Charles Oakley. So he knew, just like most bullies know, who they can bully and who they can't bully. So it is clear that Michael was a bully. It was even revealed in the documentary how he bullied his teammates. So that part I don't co-sign for, because I'm down with Mike, but if I was Mike's teammate, what you're not gonna do, you ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way, and if you hit me, trust me, partner, it's gonna be a problem. The dynasty's over, because if you put your hands on me, see Robert McCall in The Equalizer. That's all I gotta say. It ain't gonna be no conversation, ain't gonna be no MFers, and no, I'm just letting you know. That's how I roll. So Scottie just felt that, wait a minute, Michael was portrayed as a saint virtually, and everybody else kind of got thrown under the bus. So go read the book, because Scottie didn't hold back. He didn't hold nothing back. So it's pretty interesting. Which leads me to a guy named Aaron Rodgers. Now, who's Aaron Rodgers? You may not follow sports. So Aaron Rodgers, he is a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers in the National Football League. Now, there's been a whole lot of chatter because Aaron Rodgers came down with COVID-19. Now, back in the summer, the reporters, they asked him, hey, have you been vaccinated yet? He said, I'm immunized. I'm immunized. So now we find out that immunized was not vaccinated. Immunized was, I got together with some people I know, some medical people, and they kind of cooked up some concoction, and I was taking ivermectin. So that says a lot about Aaron Rodgers. So I used to kind of rock with Aaron Rodgers, but dude, you part of the MAGA cult? Talking about taking ivermectin? How did that work out for you? I guess not too good, because guess what? You came down with COVID-19. Now, he was on TV today. He was on some podcast for about 45 minutes saying, well, I didn't lie. I said I was whatever the hell the word he used. Anyway, he tried to make it seem immunized. I said I was immunized. I never said that I had been vaccinated. Don't do that. I hate when people stop. Don't play games. All right, don't. Even on YouTube, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. All right, don't spit on me and tell me it's raining. How about that? I'll modify what I really wanted to say. Don't spit on me and tell me it's raining. Aaron Rodgers, when the reporters asked you, have you been vaccinated? You said, I'm immunized. So you implied that stop playing games. But you put your teammates at risk even though you claim they knew you weren't immunized. And yes, you were around reporters. You held news conferences. Yes, they were vaccinated. They had masks on, but you didn't have a mask on. And you're saying, well, it's stupid. Why should I have to wear a mask? And if they've been vaccinated and they're wearing a mask, you heard of breakthrough cases, Mr. You know, Aaron Rodgers is one of them dudes that thinks he's the smartest person in every room he walks in. He just knew, oh, I'm going to be the next host of Jeopardy. They were never going to hire you to be the host of Jeopardy, dude. How did that work out for you? But he's just one of them dudes that just think he's smarter than everybody in the room. Taking that ivermectin. Well, how smart was that? Because it didn't stop you from getting COVID-19. And before I go to Key, let me just say this, because he was talking about, Aaron Rodgers was complaining about, oh, the woke mob is coming for me, and they're trying to cancel me. Stop with it, okay? For all those people that's complaining about the woke mob and people being woke and canceling, people are trying to cancel me and cancel culture, including Bill Maher, who I'm a huge fan of. Look, I like Bill Maher's comedy, and I rock with him on a significant amount of his points of view. Some of Bill Maher's stuff is way out there. You know, I don't know what kind of, because, you know, he's very open about he smokes marijuana. I don't know, he must have got some bad loud on some of these episodes, because sometimes he is on some ish that I'm like, dude, that batch of weed, you need to throw that out, because if you was smoking that before the show, it's got you sounding crazy. But people complaining about the woke mob and cancel culture, just because people hold you accountable for what you say and do, that's not being woke. That means that you are not, I don't care who you are. So your privilege, your whiteness, your money, your fame, your wealth, your fortune, you are not above the law. You are not above criticism. None of us, including myself. I have to be held for what I say and what I do. Now, I may not like it either, but that's just a fact. If you put your big boy pants on, as they say. If you big, bad, and bold enough to say it and do it, then you need to be big, bad, and bold enough to accept the consequences and the responsibility for what you say and do. And then don't get in your feelings. Oh, see, that's what's wrong with the world. The woke mob, and these folks are so woke. Stop with that foolishness, man. We're not even playing them games no more. I'm going to make sure that we don't play them games in 2022. Anybody, including myself. We all have to be held. We have to be accountable for what we say and do. We may not like it. We may be in our feelings. We can feel like we're picked on, but that comes with the territory. So the woke mob ain't coming for you. Aaron Rodgers, you can't be canceled if you wanted to. You got teams the Steelers would love to have you. The Saints would love to have you. The Lions in your own division, I'm sure, up in Detroit, killing them would probably take Aaron Rodgers over the quarterback they got right now. So you can't be canceled. You've made in your career, between football and endorsements, over $100 million. You missed a, discount double check with the belt, like the WWF or WWE belt. So come on, man. You a wealthy white dude, celebrity, star NFL quarterback, went to a West Coast Ivy League school. He went to the Cal Berkeley. So stop with that. Stop whining in your feelings with your sensitive ass. And I know, because my wife and daughter tells me I'm too sensitive all the time. So I know sensitive when I see it. Matter of fact, Keela can co-sign. Keela worked for me. She know me. Keela, am I too sensitive, my sister? He said, you don't want to date.
I'm not touching that.
No. Listen, you got the floor.
What?
Look, because I don't know everybody. Maras, Boogie, Allie. Look, I own it. I'm sensitive with people that I love and care about. People who I don't give a ish about, I don't care what you say. Dude, you can talk to you can get blue in the face. You could pass out from a lack of oxygen from talking about me. And I wouldn't give you an oxygen tank. You would just be there. I don't care about people who are insignificant in my life.
Right.
I just don't. I don't live. I don't live for other people's opinion. But now my family, that mean everything to me, and you are considered family. You could say something and it would hit different because I know it would be coming from a place of love. Because you pulled come on, you'd be like,
Well, you
Wait,
know, Gino,
here
we've
you go,
had
Key. Here,
some
wait,
of those Gino sensitive
wait,
conversations.
here it is, Key. He's like,
Uh,
she be like,
um,
like G. She be like, G.
and sometimes I can be a little, rough.
No,
Because,
I know rough now. No, you. I
well,
would.
you know
Well, I
what?
guess it's relative. I would never. No,
Yeah,
I know rough.
exactly.
No.
It depends on who you're talking
You,
to,
you just
but
you are. You know what I love. One of the things I love about you. You are like. And see, but you work the news, so you have the brain of
yes,
an editor. You don't
yes,
like fluff. You like write the
yes,
headline. Get to the
yes,
point.
yes, yes.
Save
That
all
is
that.
very.
Right. Give me the headline. What's it? Who, what, where, when? G. Give me.
Yeah, the facts. Let's just go with facts. And I don't know that because I worked and started my media career in news that that's what made me a bit detached. I think I was raised that way. My mother was that way.
You
It's
told me
like,
this
look,
right. You did say
we're gonna postpone this nervous breakdown until later. We got stuff to do.
that.
So I remember crying one day, and my mother, I went to hug her, and she was like, "What? What is that, girl? You gotta wipe those tears and get to doing what we need to do." So I was kind of raised,
Yeah.
being from an inner city, being raised by a single mother, single black mother,
Yeah.
which would be important in terms of what I'm saying. We didn't have time to be crying and feeling. You know how they say in your
Right in your
feelings?
feelings.
Yeah, I don't do in your feelings.
She said, girl, you better dry them
Mm-mm.
tears up and go and wash them dishes like I told you.
Okay, okay. And so my daughter will tend to say, "Oh my God, you don't have any emotions, you don't have any feelings," and that's not true. I have my moments,
Yeah, you could have. No, you
but
are.
baby, believe it's a moment, and I'm usually by myself where there's no proof of any
But
tears.
see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, even though I've seen that part of you, but the
Yeah.
truth is, you have a heart as big as that red that you have
Oh,
on. You
absolutely.
have a big heart.
Yeah.
You have a level of compassion and
Compassion.
empathy
Yes.
and humanity that is
Yeah.
huge. So,
And on that note, that is why I am going to approach the Scottie Pippen issue first, in honor of compassion and in honor of.
even though you are right there in Detroit as we
Okay,
speak,
thank you
Piston
for pronouncing it properly.
ride or die, Piston ride or die, Detroit basketball.
Basketball. Thank you, John Mason. Um, who was the host of my debutante ball, and I told him one day I'm going to work with you, sir. He was
Mhm.
like, yeah, just do your courtesy, little girl. And when I walked in, when we were working together, Gino,
Yeah.
at the mix and Job at the time, and
Keela.
I walked into the
Keela.
studio.
Is that him?
Yeah,
Keela.
yeah. Well, he always called me by my real last name.
Makila.
He go,
Or Tyson.
Tyson, what's up?
Yeah.
But yeah, I walked in that studio and I said, "Hey, remember me at my cotillion ball?" You know, I was a debutante, and I believe it or not. But back to our original. I just want to give that shout out to Mason. Scottie Pippen. I understand pain, and I understand missing an opportunity. Not the opportunity of playing excellent basketball, winning championships, because that is what you aspire to when that is your goal, right? I'm talking about missing the financial opportunity because often people don't realize, and that has happened to me. I have been the superstar on radio, television, and wasn't making a dime. When you
Why y'all think I'm doing this?
okay, and let's be real and transparent about these things. And so I get it that you want your salary, your pay, your compensation to match. And even when the gentleman in charge of what was he, the general manager
Yeah,
or
Jerry
whatever?
Krause.
Yeah, he even told him, this is a sucky deal,
Yeah, well,
but
actually, in all fairness, let me set the record straight. It was
yeah,
actually the owner, Jerry Reinsdorf. Now, Scotty made his money really after he left the
after,
Bulls.
yes,
Now, and in all fairness, yeah, Mike, he had a sucky contract, but the last 2 years in Chicago, he got 30 and 35 million.
right,
And
he got
Scotty
to make
was,
up.
but Scotty was still like the sixth highest paid dude on the team. So
Right. And so I get it, and you were warned that this was kind of sucky. And then when you signed your name on the dotted line and wanted to go backward, they were like, nah, dude, a deal's a deal, even when it's a crappy deal.
But you know
And
what,
so,
Key? But I'm sorry. But I got to just jump in here, and I know you will at least rock with me to a degree with what I'm about to say. See, the hypocrisy about sports is that a deal is a deal when it comes to like labor, when it comes to players. But when it comes to like when owners want to get rid of you, then a deal don't matter. They throw the
right,
deal out the window. Or they'll come to you with like, yeah, well, your performance, it's not the same. Your performance has slipped. We think you should take a pay cut. But wait, what happened to a deal is a deal. So it's just a double standard that you and I've seen it, even in our business, that just,
well, that's just business,
yeah,
no matter what the business is, basketball, or being a professor or working at Walmart. I mean, business is business, and the business owner is looking to leverage, just like the worker is looking to leverage. Now, of course, the business owner in most cases tends to have the upper hand. A contract will help, but when you sign a contract that basically commits you to borderline slavery when compared to other contracts in the NBA, then it is what it is. So I will say to Scotty, you have a right to your story. You have a right to tell it. I saw The Last Dance. It was an excellent a documentary over an 8 week period of time. I believe it was
yeah,
ESPN.
yeah,
Was
it
it
was.
ESPN?
Yeah, and
Yeah, that.
the production was great,
It
but
was, and it was a great story.
it was
Yeah.
mistitled because they called it the Last Dance, the story of the 1997-98 Chicago Bulls. It was really should have been the Michael Jordan story.
It was, and I kind of felt that too.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
by the way, Key, I don't know if you knew this. Got to throw this in there. Now remember, this was about the team, the
right,
1997-98 Chicago Bulls Last Dance.
right,
Okay, well, guess only one person danced with a check, and you know who
right.
that was, right? Mike,
Jordan.
ESPN paid Michael Jordan $10 million, and nobody else on the team got a penny. So
So, I mean, listen, again, all is fair in love and war, love and sports,
business,
love
yeah,
and,
you're right.
and radio and television. It is what it is. And we can't cry over these things. Um, you got to get about doing what you can do to elevate your situation, what you can control.
And that's why he
And
released that
Scottie
book.
Pippen right now has a book,
Yeah, he
and
did.
he can control that. So get to selling these books, Scotty. Enjoy the money that you were able to make once you left. I think, did he go to Houston or?
Yeah, he left and went to Houston for a season or two. Then he went to Portland, and his team went
Right.
to the Western Conference Finals. They had a great team, and the Lakers, who of course everybody knows I'm like the big #1 Lakers fan. The Lakers were really fortunate because that series went 7 games, Western Conference Finals, because they had Rasheed, your boy, who used to
Yeah.
be up in Detroit, my man Rasheed Wallace,
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Sheed. Scotty was on that team. They had a hell of a team.
Right. So listen, you have to celebrate yourself and the strides that you make and made, and look forward. Stick your chest out, take it to the chest like a man, bro, and you wrote the book, unguarded, right? which to me sounds like a victim title, but okay. Um,
Wait a minute. So,
I don't
elaborate
like
on that.
victim stories,
Okay.
because I think that spiritually, when you write from a victim standpoint, that's how you're living. That's what you're thinking. That's what you're feeling. Look at this as success. You came from nothing and was able to be a part of one of the greatest teams that to ever do it. You will go down. Now, of course, the list is going to start with your Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's, your Michael Jordan's, your Magic Johnson's,
LeBron
your
James,
Black Mamba, Kobe
Kobe,
Bryant,
LeBron
Dr.
James.
J.
Yeah,
You
all of them.
know, it's gonna start there. But at some point, they're gonna get to Scottie Pippen, and so be happy that you're gonna be forever in that number. You know, there's a gospel song. I want to be in that number, baby. You're in that number. So stop coming from the victim standpoint of you.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you this, okay? If sharing your story, and
Yes.
if part of your story is how people really, kind of played you short, or how you were mistreated, is that being a victim from just sharing,
No,
being
no, no, no,
authentic
no.
in terms of just telling the truth about
No,
how?
let me teach now,
Well, that's why
Professor Carson.
that's why I asked you that question. I was setting you up. You
Let me
like that?
tell you about narrative. I can say, "Oh, I was a victim. They never paid me, and there was this bold contract." Or I can say,
Now remember,
"Listen,
he never used those words. And there's nowhere in his book is the phrase I was or I am a victim. In all fairness, so
right,
let's
of
put that out
course,"
there.
but the tone is there.
I got you.
Okay, the tone. But what you can say is, you know what? Look, I signed a contract at the time. I needed to feed the 500 folks that was living in my house, which is the truth. He had a lot
Yeah.
of people to take
Yes.
care of,
Hmm.
as a lot of people do who earn that kind of money and they have family. Too much is given, much is
Right.
expected, right?
And he came from a little
So,
small town. And let's set up the or not the narrative, but kind of expand the story. Big family, like he said,
right.
small town, Arkansas. Um, and I think one of his parents, I think it was his dad, somebody had a stroke or got sick and couldn't
Mm,
work anymore. Right, not shortly after he went pro, so he was trying to provide, you know, medical help and coverage for the family
right. So he
member.
needed the
He
money.
needed them, and we need to throw this in there. Early in his career, he had like a back injury, and in the back of his mind, he's like, I may need to go ahead and try to go ahead and get, sign this 6-year deal and try to lock that money in because contracts in the NBA, unlike the NFL, are guaranteed. So just for
And so
context, I just want to put that out there.
and so my point is, you can look at that time and say, "Look, I did what I had to do with what I had at that time, with the negotiating skills I had at that time, with my family situation." And you say, "Look, God blessed us. We did not starve. I mean, I didn't make what I could have, but I took it. I was able to make more later, greater later, as they say." And hey, I lived a good life. There are many people who would love to have lived my life, whether I made X amount of millions at that time that I was on the Chicago Bulls or not. And that's how you change the narrative. You say that's my story. Does one need a gajillion dollars more in order to have some quality of life? I was able to help my family, loved ones who were ill, and so I was a winner. And I am a winner. And now I'm writing this book. I need for y'all to go pay $19.99 or $14.99 on Audible and Amazon and Kindle and buy this book so that I can make me some more. And that's how you come from a place of power instead of a place of victimization.
Okay,
So that's all I'm
so
saying.
now, professor, and I love psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, counselor. I don't know if you got a degree, but it sounds like
No,
it. Well,
no.
okay,
I'm just
all right.
media.
So okay, I know. I'm just I'm having fun with you. So
Yeah.
okay, now I want you to put on this other hat because you are a very talented writer. I know this.
Yes.
You are an excellent editor. You have editing skills.
Yes.
I know this. I've worked with you. So
Yeah.
now let's look at it from the standpoint of a publisher. If you were the publisher from whatever the company is, it probably gave him a whole big old check up front, and you
Yes.
wanted this book because we know sex, violence, negative, all that juicy stuff sells. If it bleeds, it leads. That's the old term in the news business back in the day. That's why you would see car crashes, and because people are unfortunately, and it says a lot about us as humans, we're drawn to car crashes and explosions.
Yeah, but the way to do that is to say the title of the book, right? Unguarded,
Unguarded, right?
right? You can simply say, if you thought I was unguarded, think again, the Scottie Pippen story, and then you roll like that, and you can still tell the same story with the same information, but you come from a place of power and not a place of victimization.
And I
It's just
and I'm rocking with
right.
you. I love that. But what if you want this person or you allow them, you say, listen, this is your story. We want you to be authentic. Speak in your own voice. And don't worry about how others may interpret it as maybe you being a victim or angry or whatever. Just speak your truth. So
Right.
how do you navigate that? Because I'm just playing devil's advocate. Just
Because he hasn't done what I said. He needs to sit down and say, "Oh, thank you, Father God, for the
well, we don't know. We
blessings
don't know if he
that
hasn't.
no, no,
We don't know
that
if he
I
hasn't done that.
no, no." Because if you are truthful about saying thank you, then you cannot come from a place of victimization. Because saying thank you gives you grace and gives you gratitude. So therefore, you are now looking at the blessing that you got, not what you didn't get and how it didn't happen.
Yeah, but two
Mm-mm.
things two things
No,
could be
no.
true, and actually multiple things could be true. You can be grateful to God for the blessings, but you can still not give a pass, and well, maybe that's just saying a lot about me. Because if you do me wrong, I'm not gonna. You ain't gonna get no grace from me. I ain't
No,
gonna
no, no,
hold
no,
no.
no. You don't have to give grace
But if you do
to
me wrong,
people.
and if somebody asks me, Key, did so and so they did you wrong, man? That you got paid. You you were the cash cow. You were the winner. You scored. You were the main person that or the second to main
Mm-mm.
person that caused us to be a winner. But I paid you like you was a scrub or like a part-time
Mm-mm.
intern.
No, Gino,
I'm gonna
your
call
mama
that
and I
out.
coming to pick you up on Sunday, and we gonna take you down to South Carolina church, and we gonna say, no, no,
Okay.
no, no.
Yeah, then y'all
When
might
you
need to do
come
that.
from a point of grace and gratitude, there is no possible way to ever feel like a victim, because grace is the opposite. Gratitude is the opposite of victimization.
Okay, so
Period.
I love okay, so help because I know some folks are looking at this like, well, wait a minute,
No,
it's
no,
it's
no,
not.
no. Matter of fact, let me tell you, let me
Well,
give you an
well,
example.
let me ask you this though.
I had a stroke, and people look at me crazy when I say, well, in a way, I'm kind of thankful that I had my stroke. I thank God because it changed my life. It made me prioritize some things. When I looked at it like that, I was like, come on, let's get with it. Let's get about the new and what we can do. Let's not think about what I can't do. Let's think about what I can do and what that having that stroke, what doors it opened up for me. And if I hadn't been in a space of gratitude and grace, I wouldn't have known that some doors opened up for me. So I am just telling you, when you get down on your knees, and not literally if you don't go there, but when you are basically in gratitude and grace, you are looking at only the greatness that came out of whatever situation that is. So you will then say, Scottie Pippen, you know what? Thank you for that bold contract because I knew how to negotiate the second one. And even though the second one didn't lead me to 6 NBA championships or whatever, guess what, mofo? I already got those. I got the rings. Oh, let me put up another hand. I got the rings. I don't need the rings no more. Now I just need the money. So what God did is flipped it and gave him the rings first and the money later. It's called greater later.
And,
So
and
I'm not
listen,
having it.
I get that, Key. I get it
Yes.
because you know my mother. and you kind of know, you know me and my,
That's why we coming to pick you up
you know my
Sunday.
attitude. But once again, now we got to say this: he is telling his story in a very authentic way.
Right,
Now,
but right now he's in a pity party, and I'm just saying Scotty's got to come out of the pity party
well, in all
and stop.
fairness, I'll say because I haven't read all of it. I read a lot of excerpts. I'm actually going to buy the book, and I would
Yeah.
just say I would encourage you to read the whole book because
Yes.
I don't think this is we have a different take on it because I don't think it doesn't come across as a pity party. It comes across about Scotty telling his own story. And for years, Scotty didn't, Scotty let a lot of stuff go and didn't complain about stuff. Um, he just didn't. I mean, I know people who work in the sports media, people who knew Scotty,
You know
who
what?
talked to
Okay,
Scotty.
Gino, and then we're gonna move on because we got a couple of things to get in here because we're not gonna Pippin ourselves to death
Yeah.
because I do not want the soul of Pippin.
But I love no. Listen, I,
Listen,
but what you let me say this.
listen,
I,
Gino.
I want.
Scotty cannot blame Michael Jordan. He cannot blame that general manager and owner, and he cannot blame anybody else for the decisions that he made.
Oh no, I don't think he's. But see, I don't think that's
So
fair to Scotty. I don't
and
think he's
and
blaming
and and
anybody.
he can't blame Michael for being a bully. He can't blame. Go on with your life, Scotty,
I don't think he
and
was
live.
blaming because okay, let's use ourselves as an
Okay,
example.
G.
If we tell our story, there are people in our lives, in our
Yeah,
careers, who necessarily didn't treat us the best, who could have treated us crappy or tried to do this or that or the other, and we, my grandmother would say, use your enemies as your footstool. It's basically, in essence, talking about grace, and you were talking about that. But if Keela Carson is telling her full, authentic story, and
listen.
you this happened, it's not about being a victim. It's like, well, okay, part of my journey was, this person was like really crappy, but I used that energy, I flipped it on them because them treating me crappy was the motivation and the
Right, if
energy
that's how
that.
you tell it. But if you tell it from the,
Yeah.
point of view,
But I'm saying
then
I haven't read the whole book, and neither have you.
nor have I.
So in all fairness, it may not once you read the book, it may not come across that way.
Yes. So I pray that he took the positive spin. I don't like the title, which is a bad sign to me. But
Well, it related,
if,
but you know why they used unguarded, the
if
obvious, because
but
he was
it,
and he was one of the best defensive players. He was good at guarding people, hence
right.
unguarded.
But
He was play on words.
unguarded is a victimization title, and I wouldn't have never approved it. I don't care what Simon and Schuster and who could who said to me, because I'm not putting that out there. Unguarded, I'm always guarded by the power and the blood. So I don't want to hear nothing about
Well,
unguarded. I am never unguarded. So
if
that
that
would have had to change. But anyway,
10 million,
enough about.
if that advance check is 10 million, how much? What's your price, Key? 100
Anyway,
million.
there ain't no price. That title would have been changed, and I would have still got my money. Keela would.
Go ahead, Keela said.
Okay,
I
I'm
done
just
told them folks change the title, but go ahead. Here's the routing number. Go on and deposit
right.
them.
Or you can put parentheses at the bottom, unguarded. So you thought. You know, and there are many ways to do this. I want to say a final goodbye to Colin Powell. Love the fact that the theme was basically a life lived well, which is what we're talking about. When it's all said and done, and we're all buried 6 feet under, a life well done. I love the fact that in addition to Amazing Grace, they played ABBA, Dancing Queen. There's a line in the song that says, you can dance, having the time of your life. And that is what, if you knew Colin Powell, that is the life he lived. He did the work, he did the business of the country, but he also had a good time too. And so I'm happy about that. I hope his son takes over for him with America's
Yeah,
Promise.
Michael.
I'm
Yeah.
helping, yep, Michael, helping with children and young people finding that focus and understanding their purpose in life. As for the Aaron Rodgers guy, listen, all I got to say is one thing. What he did is like somebody having herpes, saying, "Well, I didn't have an outbreak, but
Right. I didn't have it on that day. Like
right."
you said, right.
So
Right.
that whole technicality crap, I don't like it.
Yeah, me neither.
And so best to him. But what you do in the dark will come to the light. And
Say that.
now we have the light. He knew full well what reporters were asking him back in August when they said, did you, get the
Are you vaccinated?
vaccine?"
I'm
So,
I'm immunized.
right. So stop playing games, especially if you're the smartest person in the room, like you said. You know that that is a manipulation of words, and we not having it. Um, I want to say shout out to Prince Camp. There is a movie, Mr. Nelson on the North Side. I think that's what it is. And you can go to the onthenorthside.com website if you want to see the movie,
Really?
the documentary about Prince,
Wow.
and his commitment not only to his craft, but also to the North Side of Minneapolis, where he's from.
Yeah.
And which I did not know it was as important. I do know that that's why he built Paisley Park in his home so that he could, honor where he is from
Yeah.
and bring that revenue, keep that revenue
Yeah.
in his place of birth, and also all of the talent that he brought out from that area as well. Um, and so that was his love note. And so this movie is kind of like that. It is $8.99 if you want to stream it, but you have to go to the website. The money is supposed to be used for philanthropic, purposes for organizations associated with Prince. So that's one thing. And then finally, before we get out of here, I want to say, listen, you know, uh, if you don't know the story of Alpo, Martinez, AZ Faison, and Rich Porter, you probably have not seen the movie Paid in Full, done by Dame Dash years ago. Uh,
Yeah.
but Alpo Martinez was gunned down in Harlem, which is where he started. He was serving a 35-year sentence, was able to get out a little bit early. Part of that 35-year sentence, which would have been natural life had he not decided to cooperate, he, I'll use the term that is the street term, ratted on a number of people.
Snitch.
Um, right, people call it snitching, ratting, or whatever, but he agreed to work with the government and outed other criminals and what they were doing. He admitted to killing Rich Porter, which the movie already kind of alluded to that, years ago. But he finally said it with his words, and admitted to many other deaths. He was on witness protection, and was supposed to be living in Maine, but for years he's been seen in Harlem like it was,
Like nothing happened.
right, like he was just back in the hood. Well, on Halloween, about 3 a.m., that because Halloween fell on a Sunday, so 3 a.m. Saturday, going into Sunday
Sunday morning.
morning,
Right.
he was shot and killed. And so now Dame Dash says it's inevitable because he said he had been working on Paid in Full too, but he didn't have an ending. Well, here's your ending. Although Paid in Full 2 will also focus a little bit on Kevin Childs, who was also another known drug dealer in New York. People think he's from Harlem. He really isn't. He's from Brooklyn, I believe. But his family, when they migrated from the South, did go to Harlem, and for a little bit. And then, but he was in Harlem so much that people thought he was a part of that Harlem scene. He was good friends with AZ and Rich and Alpo.
He now
But
he
the Paid in Full 2 will include his story.
right.
Now, he only served 10 years because he did not cooperate and he did not take a plea. He said, take me to trial. They came back 2 hung juries, and finally the legal system just said, okay, can you take this 10 so that at least we can convict you, and then you would still have a life? And he took that, and so he's changed his life, and he's more on a positive situation now. Although he has he found out at that time that he believed that AZ and Alpo were feeding the feds information on him. So a paid in full too
Now
is likely to
are we
happen.
talking about Dame Dash? The he you referring
Yes.
to? Yeah. So just for the viewers, you know who the
Yeah,
he
Damon Dash was partnered with
Jay.
Jay
And shout
Z.
out to Jay Z,
Yeah.
you know, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, part of his speech.
Yep.
He gave you know,
Him and LL.
yeah, he gave Dame Dash a lot of love
Yeah.
because they got started in that business, the record business. Cause
Yeah, Dame Dash was let's call it more of the behind the scenes, and
right,
Jay Z was the front man.
exactly, and
So
Jay
you must respect both.
right, and Jay's was very honest about his roots in the Marcy projects when he was a
Yes.
drug dealer in the Marcy
Yes.
projects, and he took that situation like Keela. He took a page from Keela and my mother, focused on the grace, and out
Yes.
of the negative, out of the ashes, like a phoenix, he transferred those skills,
Yes.
transferable skills.
Yep.
If
And
I
so when we look at a paid in full two, which is a legend movie, it's
yeah,
right up there with, you got to see the Five Heartbeats, you got to see the Temptations, you got to see Paid in
it's a
Full,
cult
Set It
movie. Yeah,
Off.
especially
Those are
people that love hip hop, old school hip hop, like the '90s hip hop.
exactly.
Yeah,
So Paid
it's
in Full
cult.
2 is a foregone conclusion, but look for the Kevin Childs story to be told in concert with the other players that were already there.
Key, I got to take you back to this Prince movie because I love, even
Okay.
in death, Prince's estate. Now, I think one of the people that's running his estate is a guy named John McClane. Now,
Mhm.
that name may not sound familiar to many people. Key, I know you know who John McClane is.
Mhm.
John McClane was the head of, they call A&R.
Right.
A&R. A&R at a record company is artists and repertoire.
Right.
So basically, the A&R person is the person that picks the talent and signs them to the label. John,
And also is responsible for their development.
yeah, developing the artists and getting the right producers and all that. So John McClane is the person that brought Janet Jackson to A&M Records. John McClane is the one that made the phone calls and went and got Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis to produce Control and Rhythm
Right.
Nation, and the rest is history. So John McClane is just a legend. This is a brother who's a legend in the music industry. John McClane is one of the. I'm not a lawyer, but he and this. I think there are two people that's in charge of running the estate,
For
Prince's
Prince,
estate.
Rogers
Yes,
Nelson.
and I just love how they did that because, first of all, I hadn't even heard about this new Prince documentary. I'm
Hmm.
like, how
Yeah,
did?
they're staying true to the Prince model.
Yes, and no Netflix. Now I'm sure that Netflix would write a huge nine-figure check for the
Yeah.
rights to this. Netflix,
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, Hulu, Peacock, you name the streaming service. But it's like, no, I love that, but there's a lesson in that we need
Yeah.
to step into our own power and ownership.
That's right.
Own your stuff. No, I'm not
Yep.
selling it, but if you like a piece of this, there's my attorney, there's my legal team. Sit
Yep.
down, talk to them. They'll give you the routing numbers, and you can wire transfer that money.
Right. And
But
after it runs here for a month, maybe we'll then pass it along
right,
for the price of X, Y, and
right,
Z.
right. You
Again,
can't
it's
own it now. If you want to
right
work out a deal to where I'll give you the rights to show it for
for
6 months,
X
but
amount of months.
yes,
Yeah.
right, and then
Right.
it's
So
up.
it's on the north side, and
I
it's
love
eight
it.
ninety nine, and I am definitely going to pay $8.99 to see what this is about.
So you can
Shaka
go to his
Khan
website. You can go to his
is
website, right?
there. Chuck D, I believe, is. Wait a minute. I think Chuck D.
Prince has a website, so you can go to his website, or they created a whole new website. You
Right.
said for it, right?
Yeah, and but it's easier to just go to
Okay.
onthenorthside.com.
.com. I love
And
that.
then it has a, do you want to watch? And then you can pay your $8.99, and
I want to do
and
that.
you can watch it for a week. You got a week to stream it.
Before you get out of there, and I know you knew this, but I think it's important that people that are watching, viewers who don't know this about Prince, and Prince was really low key. As a matter of fact, he he had a stipulation. He was very generous. He gave to a lot of
Yes.
people. It's a lot of money. Supported a lot of social justice causes. But
Yeah, he was like Tyler Perry that
right.
way, and he did his good in the
Right.
dark.
He really, even to me, knowing both of them more than Tyler, he was like, that was like one of his main conditions. Listen, as a matter of fact, through his like attorneys and people, his assistants, he would donate big gifts and money, and they wouldn't even know who. It's like, no,
Right.
the person that's giving you this money or making this donation, they're doing it anonymously, and that would be the condition that I'll do this, but I want to remain anonymous because I'm not doing it for
Right.
attention. So shout out, even in death, rest in peace, power in paradise, because that's his spirit, and a lot of people don't know that about Prince. Yeah, he was demanding. He had a little bit of insecurity when it came to the time. He was honest about it. That was the only band that really intimidated him.
All the time.
Yeah. He was. That's why early in there, and you can go
Yeah.
back one of my early episodes. Go back and watch it. Key, I know you saw it. I had Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis as my
Yeah.
guest, and they
Yeah.
tell the story about. Because I
Yeah.
told them. I remember when Prince and the Time came to Chicago in the early '80s at the Auditorium Theater,
Yeah.
and everybody left the show. Prince was a headliner, but
Yeah.
man, everybody left the show like, man, Prince was good, but the Time, who them?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not too long
Yeah.
after that, the Time were not opening up for Prince anymore.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, and Morris Day in his, I think it was Unsung,
yeah,
or
yeah, you're
he
right.
said that um he they squashed that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
they
they
did, they
finally
did.
made up and
But
said,
they were young and
right,
competitive, and Prince didn't want nobody to outshine him. He's not the
right,
only person like that. I'm not like that. He's not wired that way. But we can name a lot
right.
of folks. Trust me, we can name a lot of folks that we work with.
Oh, yeah.
We gonna be
Let's not do
nice.
that. But yeah,
Yeah, we
I
go
mean the
today.
ego.
Now today, Key, I'm gonna be nice. But when I write the book, I'm just telling you, I'm gonna have to put the grace aside and get that check because I'm naming
No,
names.
you're not gonna put that grace aside. You gonna say you
I'm
gonna
naming.
say thank you.
I'm gonna
I
say
ain't gonna
thank
say her
you.
name.
Oh
You
no.
gonna say thank you to our old boss, Miss. Um,
I'm gonna say thank you, Lord, but I'm gonna have a list. I'm gonna name.
you gonna say
Oh,
thank you
listen.
for doing what you did.
Listen, if you came in halfway through this, and I didn't know this part was coming out of the show, that's why I love working with this talented, beautiful, talented sister who is my sister from another mother. It's amazing how, you know, you don't get to pick your biological family, but I always tell people that DNA don't make you just like DNA don't make you a parent.
Mhm.
DNA can make you a sperm and egg donor, but it doesn't make you a parent. And DNA doesn't make you family. What makes you family is how your spirits connect and the genuine, authentic love, affection, respect,
And putting
appreciation,
in the
and
work.
thank you, say that again.
Yeah, you
But
gotta put in the work.
I just want to say this, and I appreciate. That's what we were talking earlier. Keela takes the high ground. Keela, my mother, Damaris, you all are like the moral center, because I'll take off on your ass. I will now. Look, I will. I'm a good dude. They're like, no, but I will. Look, I'm a May Taurus, so I will take off on your ass. It's
Like my little sister.
yeah,
Oh
oh
my
yeah,
God. She
yeah.
put that money in a plate and be out the door of the church. I'm like, girl.
I tell people I'm like Robert McCall. Just watch The Equalizer. I'm Robert McCall. I'm Denzel's character. I'm not the one, and it ain't gonna be a lot of conversation. Ain't gonna be much conversation at all. But I will take off on your ass. But Keela, people
Yeah.
like Keela, my mother, and my daughter's the same way. Especially Damaris. Damaris is really
Yes.
she's because she'll tell you, she'll like, well, you talk to the mayors. She'll be like, Key, girl, some days I think I have to call God and his mother. I want to get his mother like, Mom, please talk to. He ain't listening. So
That
now,
face, that
right? Yeah, right. She'll call my mother, or she'll get Allie. Like Allie, talk to you.
your
'Cause
daddy.
Allie is my check. Allie is my kryptonite.
And happy birthday, Allie.
Cause Allie is, it's amazing how, we have our kids. So I look at Allie. Allie is me in a young woman's body. But
Yeah.
she is me.
Yeah.
She is the only person on this planet. She is my kryptonite. She can be like, let's put it this way, Key, and you can get a laugh out of this. She's the only one that I can't get the last word in with.
Oh.
I keep like, oh.
Lord, I almost. Oh,
Keith said,
Lord.
Keith said, we dropped the mic on that.
Woo! Yeah, that's saying something. Happy birthday, Allie. And now I've been warned. If you can squeeze Colin like in Kaepernick in black and white into your schedule, do it. Again, happy birthday to Allie. And love you, Geno.
Love you, my sister.
Love to your
Thank
mom.
You. Thank you. I will.
Yeah.
All right, have a great weekend.
You too.
That's my people, Keela Carson right there. She helps keep a brother grounded. But like I said, I'll take off on you. Listen, thank you for letting me be a part of your life as always. God bless each and every one of you, God. Most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, Detroit, they're on East Coast time, so 6:30, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. I just got somebody to, oh, hey there. Hey, Trina Nelson. Hey, Geno. Lady T checking in, watching tonight, one of my new subscribers. A big fan of my radio show here in Charleston, South Carolina. You can check me out online. Just go to that TuneIn app or star, STAR 997.com. 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. East Coast time. So 9 o'clock Monday through Friday in Chicago. And it's 10 a.m. That would be 7 a.m. So you're on your way to work out in L.A. or Portland or Seattle or San Francisco. You can listen, just do the whole TuneIn app thing and plug it into your phone. You may have the app set up in your car. You may have one of the new fancy cars, right? Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out online, IG. Kelby Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. The official wardrobe consultants and stylists for the Geno Jones Show. Allie Jones, Alexandria Jones, and Mr. Bruce Gage. Allie Jones, fashion designer, fashion design major at my alma mater, Columbia College, Chicago. Check her out. Don't worry about it. Just screen went to black. Little technical bug. Allie Jones is on Instagram. So underscores it line down below. Underscore Lexi, LEXXIE, space Nicole, NICOLE, designs. Or you can just do the search for Alexandria. I know it's a lot of Alexandria Joneses, but yeah, just do the, on Instagram, underscore Lexi, space Nicole, design. She's also on Facebook, Alexandria Jones. All right, so you do that Lexi underscore, and it'll pop up. And Bruce Gage, you can search him also on Instagram or Facebook. Just type in Bruce, B-R-U-C. Gage is G-A-G-E, Bruce Gage. All right, I love each and every one of you. Mother, you know I love you more than life itself. Allie, baby girl, happy birthday week. All right, just enjoy your week. Enjoy your birthday week. You are Daddy's inspiration. Boogie, Daddy loves you too. Lauren, a.k.a. Boogie, Daddy, I call her Boogie. Lauren Hill Vaughn. And I love you. My son-in-law, Jonathan, out there in Brooklyn, the Bulldog out there in Portland. I got to get out of here. Have a great weekend, and don't forget, so Saturday night, so I don't know if you're watching this Saturday, if you're binge watching it, Saturday night, before you go to bed, turn the clocks back, fall back. In spring, we spring ahead or spring forward. but we fall back 1 hour. We lose daylight savings time, but we gain an extra hour of, Lord knows I need an extra hour of sleep. And if you're at the club, you get an extra hour to party. Well, maybe. Now, they may try to, but technically, 2 o'clock Saturday night, it's 1 o'clock. So you should have an extra hour to get your party on at the club. I'll see you the next live edition of the Geno Jones Show. Is going to be Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Until then, please, once again, subscribe. Tell everybody you know, even folks you don't know, folks you love, like, hate, don't like, doesn't matter, don't even know, to subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Share this and every episode, and like all the episodes. Thank you, everybody. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thanks for all the comments. One last thing, as always, please be blessed and live in that state of grace and gratitude that Keela Carson was talking about. It's a great place to be.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.